Good afternoon, my name is Jamie, you know me. I'm a traveller, I travel around New Zealand and abroad when I can, and this is Murray.
Hello! I'm from California originally, but I've been living in New Zealand for 2 years and I love traveling. I travel around New Zealand a lot and other places as well.
I learned how to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit and Farenheit to Celsius from Murray's channel. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's a good trick.
Anyway, today we have 10 animals for you you may encounter when you're traveling in New Zealand.
Alright, the #1 animal that hopefully you'll see when you're here is a kiwi. It's the English name and the Maori name, kiwi. What they look like, they are round, they have a long beak, brown fur, they're kind of like a, you know, shaped like this.
It's like a soccer ball with feathers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's a duck. We'll get to that later in the video.
Yeah.
You can find kiwis in native bush and forested areas. They're pretty hard to find. They're the animal that you're not just going to go out there and just see them. They're actually pretty hard to find. You can see them in sanctuaries and in zoos. They're nocturnal, which is why during the daytime like this, you're just not really going to go and see them. But if you look hard enough, you can find them in the wild. But what I would recommend to you is that if you wanted to see them, probably go on like a tour of some type where they do kiwi spotting.
Right. And some fun facts. They are an endangered species. That's not really fun, but it's true. They're flightless, they can't fly, they have wings, but they can't fly, which makes them very vulnerable to predators, hence also why they're endangered. They have nostrils on the end of their beak. They're an icon of New Zealand. You might hear that people from New Zealand are referred to as kiwis, and yep. And the kiwi logo on everything, and it's on the currency. It's
yeah.
a big part of the culture.
Yeah, it's on the $1 coin. And there are actually 5 subspecies of kiwi in New Zealand. We have the great spotted kiwi, the little spotted kiwi, the okarito kiwi, the southern brown kiwi, and the North Island brown kiwi. Next on our list is the weka. The Maori name is the weka, the English name is the wood hen. Now they look like a little chicken. You know, they're brown, small, pretty fast runners.
Yeah, you can find them in native bushes, sand dunes, or rocky beaches, where I've seen them all over the west coast of the South Island of New Zealand. Yeah, Milford Sound, Fiordland, and you can also find them in the Tasman district or on Stewart Island.
Some of the fun facts about wekas: they are mistaken for the kiwi by a lot of tourists that come to New Zealand because they get into your backpack and stuff and they're looking for food. They're also pretty noisy when you see them. You'll hear them rustling through the bushes and in the leaves and stuff. They're also thieves. They'll steal from you any shiny things or any food you leave out. So yeah, they'll steal from you.
Yeah, be careful. #8, we have the New Zealand fur seal. The Maori name is kekeno, the English name New Zealand fur seal. What they look like, they have brown fur, whiskers, a pointy nose, flippers, and apparently they also have really bad breath.
Stinks.
Where you can find them, the entire coastline of the South Island, also around Auckland and the Campbell Islands, where I've seen them all around the South Island and especially near Kaikoura.
Fun facts about these guys: the males are much bigger than the females. The males get 120 kilograms, females like less than half that, maybe 50 kilograms. They also get preyed upon by orcas, killer whales, and sharks and sea lions. So the difference between a seal and a sea lion's much bigger. They used to be hunted until the late 19th century, until they became protected. They're curious around people, especially when you go swimming with them, because in the water they know that they're faster than you. But don't touch them, because if they decide they don't like that, then they'll bite you. And getting bitten, you don't want that to happen because they've got a lot of bacteria in their mouth. It's going to make you sick, and then you're going to be off to hospital and getting antibiotics and stuff. So don't get bitten by a seal, so don't disturb them. Next on the list is the kea, alpine parrot. You know, they've got olive green feathers, dark grey beak, and orange underneath the wings. You'll find them all around the mountainous areas of the South Island, but not down on the flat, not down on the grasslands. And I've seen them in Arthur's Pass and Milford Sound.
Yes, and fun facts, they are the world's only alpine parrot. They are notorious for pulling away wipers and rubber seals from cars. so be careful. Also, if you leave out hiking boots or something, they will take your shoelaces. Don't feed them if you see them. And also, this is a little bit brutal, but they have been known to attack sheep by landing on the back and eating the fat from the sheep's back. Ooh. So farmers used to shoot them, but they became protected in 1986 under the New Zealand Wildlife Act.
It's not really a fun fact, that's like a horror movie.
Yeah, it's like, oh. Don't like to
Kia, you've got a nasty secret.
Alright, up next we have the paradise shelduck. That's the English name. The Maori name is putangitangi, which means very noisy. What they look like is males are black all over and females are chestnut brown with a white head and like neck area. You can find them all throughout rivers and lakes in New Zealand, and where I've seen them is around Hagley Park in Christchurch and also along the Avon River through Christchurch.
They're also quite monogamous. You'll often see just one male with just one female. And they're also noisy and territorial, so when they quack and when they fight, when they get it on, it's quite loud and they can be quite aggressive. Not with people, but with each other. Next on the list is the New Zealand wood pigeon. That's the English name, New Zealand wood pigeon. The Maori name is the kererū. They are a grey bird, grey head, grey wings, grey tail with a white body. You can see them in forests, sometimes in city parks, and I've seen them in Stewart Island.
Yeah, fun facts, they love eating fruit, but they compete with possums who also love eating fruit off the trees, so that's interesting. The population of the wood pigeons are in decline in New Zealand, and so they are protected under the New Zealand Wildlife Act. You can actually be prosecuted for hunting them, so do not hunt them here.
Next up is the Hector's dolphin. The English name is the Hector's dolphin, the Maori name is the tutu maira kurai. They have a black fins and a light grey body and a black mask over their eyes, and they have that distinctive rounded dorsal fin and a no discernible beak. You know, the beak kind of blends in with their head. You can find them all around South Island coasts, except not down in Fiordland and not around Stewart Island. And I've seen them in Akaroa Harbour, and they have tours, dolphin watching, swimming tours in Akaroa Harbour.
Fun facts, they get their name from Sir James Hector. He's a curator, or was a curator of Te Papa Museum in Wellington. He examined the first available specimen of the dolphin in the late 1800s. It's the smallest of the dolphin species, only reaching 1.2 to 1.5 meters long. And they are preyed upon by killer whales and sharks, so they seek out murky water in places like Akaroa Harbour to escape the predators.
Next we've got the yellow-eyed penguin. The Maori name for this is the hoiho. They have a white body and little yellow wee eyes around their eyes, black feathers and around the back and on the wings. You can find them on the Banks Peninsula and Otago coastlines, also around Stewart Island, and I've seen them on Stewart Island.
Fun facts, 90% of their diet is fish, and they will swim up to 25 kilometers from their home colony to hunt. They eat the bottom-feeding fish species, and they are also endangered with an estimated population of 4,000 only, which makes them one of the rarest penguin species in the world. Next up, we have the royal albatross. They have an English name, and there are two subspecies, the northern and the southern royal albatross. What they look like is they have a white head and body, and they have black feathers on their wings with a light orange tip at the end of their beak. They're also much larger than seagulls with a wingspan of about 2 to 3 meters.
You can find them around the southern coastal regions of the South Island. You can also find them around Auckland Island, Stewart Island and Campbell Islands. And I've seen them on a fishing boat. I used to work on a fishing boat, and it was a long line boat, and those albatrosses, they absolutely cannot stay away.
Fun facts, you can see them in Dunedin on the Otago Peninsula Royal Albatross Colony, which is pretty cool. And also the longline fishing that Jamie mentioned, it's actually the biggest threat to the bird since birds can't just stay away. But thankfully now there are fewer longline boats operating today.
The reason they can't stay away is they see that fish coming out of the water and it looks too inviting.
Alright, and last but not least, or maybe least, we have the common brush-tailed possum. The Maori name is Paihamu. What they look like is gray fur, furry tail, black eyes, pointy ears, and where you can find them? In forests and on roads everywhere.
I've seen them in forests and on roads everywhere. The possum was introduced by European settlers in the 1980s as a wild food source of food and pelts. And at its peak in the 1980s, there was an estimated population in New Zealand of 60 to 70 million possums, which is a lot considering the population of New Zealand is about 4 million. 60 to 70 million possums.
Possums are a major pest and a predator to New Zealand's native birds, so they are kept in control via trapping and ground baiting and also 1080 poison. Tourists, after visiting New Zealand, have been known to tell their friends and family that the possum is known as a furry, flat animal found on New Zealand roads, especially on holiday weekends.
So that concludes 10 animals that you may see while you're visiting and traveling New Zealand. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much, Mari, for doing this video with me. So from the Travis wetlands here in Christchurch, New Zealand, we'll see you later. And yeah, if you want to see travel videos from New Zealand, you can see my channel. And if you want to see travel videos from New Zealand, you could look at Mari's channel too.
Yeah.